For nearly a decade, NASA's Juno spacecraft has orbited the most terrifying planet in our solar system, Jupiter, a giant so massive it could swallow 1,000 Earths, and whose swirling storms and violent moons seem to defy logic. We sent Juno to peel back the clouds and pierce the mysteries of this colossal world. And now, after dozens of flybys, after diving past radioactive storms and skimming dangerously close to volcanic moons, the probe has sent back something that no one expected. Something its final images may confirm. This wasn't just a mission to collect data. It was a journey into the unknown. And now, with only a handful of orbits left before Juno is deliberately destroyed, we're faced with the unthinkable. What if Jupiter is hiding more than just storms? What if everything we feared is real? Join us on the enigmatic journey of why, as we delve into another mystery surrounding Juno's final images, confirms what we all feared. Juno's final chapter began with a descent into the heart of chaos. Io, a moon that bleeds lava and roars with volcanic rage. It's the most volcanically active body in the solar system, with molten fountains that rise hundreds of kilometers into space. But in 2023 and 2024, Juno flew closer than ever before, just 1,500 kilometers above Io's surface. And what it captured wasn't just violent, it was unnatural. Towering calderas dotted the moon with lava lakes, so reflective they appeared like obsidian mirrors under starlight. One image revealed ghostly plumes hovering just above the horizon, some so tall they cast shadows into space. Juno's microwave radiometer scanned beneath the crust and found a terrain constantly renewing itself, as if the moon were alive, purging its pain. This relentless eruption cycle isn't random. It's the result of gravitational torture. Jupiter pulls at Io with unrelenting force, and nearby moons like Europa and Ganymede stretch it from the other side, creating a tug-of-war that heats the moon from within. But what Juno found beneath the surface raised questions no one was prepared to ask. Thermal readings suggested a massive subsurface reservoir, not just of magma but of something more complex. A smoothness, a consistency, an energy signature that didn't match lava. Was it an ocean of magma or something else entirely? When Juno turned its gaze toward Jupiter's polar regions, it entered a realm of perpetual fury. These weren't just storms, they were titanic cyclones, some larger than entire continents, that had been raging for centuries. But with each flyby, Juno's instruments began to detect something disturbing. While visible and infrared images showed the storms as distinct and structured, microwave scans, capable of peering hundreds of kilometers below, revealed that some of these cyclones had no deep roots. They were hollow. Others extended far beneath the cloud tops in ways that defied our understanding of atmospheric physics. One cyclone, clearly visible at the center of Jupiter's pole in both infrared and visible light, completely vanished in the microwave spectrum. It was as if it didn't truly exist, at least not in any physical sense we could explain. Scientists were baffled. Were these phenomena natural weather systems, or something more exotic? Some began to wonder if these storms were the atmospheric signatures of unknown energetic processes, perhaps magnetic in nature, or even linked to the core of Jupiter itself. Whatever the explanation, one thing was clear. Jupiter's atmosphere isn't just turbulent. It's layered with secrets we were never meant to uncover. Among Juno's most haunting discoveries was the image of Loki Patera, a volcanic depression 200 kilometers wide, filled with a glowing lake of magma. But this wasn't just a cauldron of heat. As the probe flew over Loki, it captured something that sent chills through the mission team. Reflections, sharp, high-contrast glints, bouncing back toward the spacecraft. More intense than anything seen before on Io. What could cause such precision reflection? Lava doesn't usually behave that way. Scientists theorized that the surface of Loki Patera might be covered in glass-like rock. Obsidian fields, so perfectly smooth, they reflect light like mirrors. But even that didn't fully explain the data. Some infrared signals appeared modulated, as if the surface were interacting with the probe's sensors, returning not just light, but patterns. Could this be a natural resonance between the instrument and the terrain? Or was something under the surface amplifying the signal? Later flybys would reveal another feature. Chor's Patera, another volcanic depression, emitted similar patterns. These sites, now considered hotspots not just of heat, but of information, raised an unsettling possibility. Are these volcanoes just vents of planetary energy? Or are they acting like beacons? As Juno dove into its 60th orbit, it captured what many now consider its most unsettling image. While photographing Jupiter's folded filamentary region, a chaos zone of swirling clouds and decaying jets, the probe captured an anomaly. Amid the madness of turbulence, one formation remained eerily still. A circular structure, perfectly symmetrical, hovered motionless in a sea of chaos. It appeared as a single unblinking eye, not metaphorically, but geometrically. This eye was cold in the infrared, silent in the microwave, and barely detectable in visible light. It wasn't a storm. It wasn't heat. It was absence, a void that hovered in the center of madness. Some scientists speculate that this could be a stable vortex, a pocket of atmosphere protected from the outer chaos. Others fear it's something more. Perhaps the first evidence something is watching from the calm. As Juno soared over Io's northern polar region, an area previously unseen by any human instrument, it uncovered a landscape that challenged every assumption. In October 2023, at just 11,700 kilometers above the surface, Juno captured high-resolution images, revealing 3 massive mountains near the Terminator line. These weren't minor geological features. They were jagged peaks, rising sharply into the thin space above Io. Each one unlike any other mountain seen in the Jovian system. Scientists circled them in red, noting their symmetry, their sharp inclines, and their eerie resemblance to Earth's cathedral spires. One, dubbed Steeple Mountain, rose between 5 and 7 kilometers high, its silhouette eerily clean against the void. But what caught researchers off guard wasn't just the mountain's shape. It was the shadows. Juno recorded shifting shadows that moved faster than expected for Io's slow rotation. Some hypothesized it was due to volcanic ash plumes distorting the light. Others were less sure. One shadow in particular seemed to move against the expected direction, briefly reversing in a way that couldn't be explained by standard atmospheric distortion. Were we witnessing a visual anomaly? Or was something, some electromagnetic distortion or unknown force, interfering with how Juno perceived light and geometry on Io? In a place as volatile as this moon, even shadows may hide secrets. On February 3, 2024, Juno made another daring close pass over Io and captured one of the strangest composite images in the history of planetary science. 2 massive plumes erupted simultaneously, one over Prometheus and another from an unidentified source. But here's the puzzle. While the plumes were clearly visible in infrared, they were completely invisible to the naked eye in visible light imaging. This wasn't an issue of resolution. It was a mismatch in energy emissions. How can something release tremendous thermal energy and remain completely hidden in standard light? Some suggest that certain volcanic eruptions on Io are composed of gases or particles that only radiate outside the visible spectrum. But the sheer size of these eruptions, visible as thermal signatures extending kilometers into space, suggests a more complex mechanism. Could these invisible plumes be the result of exotic chemistry, or even electromagnetic interactions with Jupiter's magnetosphere? Adding to the mystery, a pattern began to emerge. The locations of these hidden eruptions often aligned with intense readings of radiation spun into frame. At first, scientists dismissed it as a visual bonus, but upon closer inspection, they noticed something odd. Amalthea was glowing. Not glowing as in reflecting sunlight, but emitting infrared radiation far beyond what a body of its size and composition should. Even more intriguing, this tiny moon glowed more intensely on its leading edge, the side facing forward in its orbit. Some speculated it might be heated by tidal forces. Others pointed to electromagnetic induction from Jupiter's immense magnetic field. But none of these hypotheses explained one critical detail. The glow fluctuated in a repeating pattern synchronized with Juno's own position in orbit. It was as if the moon was responding to the probe's presence. This rhythmic pulsing has not been observed before, and though some believe it's merely a coincidence of orbital resonance, others have proposed a more unsettling possibility. What if Amalthea is not just a relic of planetary debris, but a kind of sensor, a passive node in a larger electromagnetic system that extends through Jupiter's rings and moons, a system that we've only just begun to detect? Beneath every scientific discovery, there often lies a more haunting question: why? Jupiter, the giant among planets, has always held that question tightly. But with Juno's latest data, a new theory has quietly emerged among some planetary scientists, one that changes the very origin story of our solar system. It's long been believed that Jupiter was the first planet to form, drawing in vast amounts of hydrogen and helium and shaping the orbits of everything around it. But Juno's measurements of elemental abundances, particularly water and heavier elements, tell a conflicting tale. The outer atmosphere contains far more of these elements than its core does. That shouldn't be possible. If Jupiter had formed where it is now, the heavier elements would have concentrated toward the center. Instead, it appears as though Jupiter may have migrated, possibly forming far beyond the snow line and moving inward after the solar system had already begun to stabilize. This raises disturbing implications. Did Jupiter's migration disturb other planetary bodies? Did it eject potential Earth-like planets from stable orbits? Is that why the inner solar system is so barren of large terrestrial worlds besides Earth? And what if Jupiter wasn't alone? Could other massive bodies have once traveled inward unseen, reshaping our system from the shadows? The more we learn about Jupiter, the more it looks like a planetary interloper, a cosmic force that wasn't supposed to be here, but arrived anyway, leaving a trail of disruption in its wake. After nearly a decade of diving into storms that could swallow Earth whole, after skimming over moons that bleed fire and shine like mirrors in the void, Juno is reaching the end of its journey. But its final images and the data fabric of what we believe about the solar system. From volcanic plumes that burn invisibly, to symmetrical shadows that move against the rules of light, from moons that glow with rhythm, to storms that vanish below the surface. Juno's discoveries whisper a truth that scientists aren't ready to say out loud. Jupiter is not just a planet. It is a system, a force, a mystery older than our maps of the cosmos. And now, NASA prepares to send Juno to its death. Not because it failed, but perhaps because it succeeded too well. On September 17, 2025, Juno will plunge into Jupiter's atmosphere, never to speak again. And, as it burns in silence, we'll be left with only questions. Echoes of signals that hint at design, at intelligence, at purpose. Did Juno discover something we're not being told? Did its final images confirm what we all feared, that we are not alone, not even in our own solar system? The answers may lie deep within those final transmissions. And as always, we're left with a choice. Dismiss the unknown or confront it. Thank you for joining us today on Why. Let us know your opinions in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the video on your screen for more mind-bending content. Keep waiting for another exciting Why adventure. And until then, stay curious and stay tuned. This is Why, signing off.